Even though Tomodachi Life, living the dream, seems simple on the surface, there are so many things the game doesn't tell you, and there are small details that you have easily missed. So, if you want to avoid the mistakes that waste your time, and you want to learn how to actually maximize how much money and fuzzies you're earning every day, this video is gonna help you out.
We interrupt to bring you some breaking news. Squish the like button and stay bubbly.
There's a lot to cover, so let's begin with the bubbles that you're probably seeing pop up on top of your Mii's heads a lot. These represent different types of issues that your Mii's are dealing with. So far, it seems like the yellow ones are related to general problems. For example, your Mii's can be hungry, they can be looking for a new outfit, they might be needing a room renovation, or they want something to be crafted in the pallet house. If the request is about a specific change, you don't have to agree to it if you don't want to. However, agreeing, and better yet, getting the Mii something they like or love is gonna reward you with fuzzies and a happiness boost. On the other hand, the orange bubbles are related to friendship requests. Perhaps your Mii thinks that they're gonna get along with someone and they want your opinion on that, or maybe they want to become friends with another Mii and they want you to suggest something they can talk about. Then we have the pink bubbles, which are related to romance. So a Mii might be developing feelings for someone and they're gonna ask you if they should go for it. There also seems to be blue bubbles representing something related to sadness, but thankfully I haven't gotten that in my game just yet. Apart from the bubbles, you might also see some colorful stripes popping up on top of your Mii's heads. This can mean that a Mii wants to play a minigame with you. Other times, it can be because they're going through something and they need your help. For example, if they are stuck or they have fallen down, which I'm pretty sure you've seen happen a lot, you can either help them yourself, or you can grab someone to help them out. This can be a great way to introduce Mii's to each other or expand their existing relationship. At other times, these stripes can pop up when Mii's are hanging out together at home or maybe in Tomoria, so when you click on it, you're gonna watch a cutscene unfold between all the Mii's that are hanging out. These stripes can also pop up if a Mii wants you to place decoration items where they're standing. Collectively, this is gonna become costly, but it's still a good way to maximize the fuzzies and a happiness boost. You can reject the request if you don't like where they're placing it, but remember that you can change the placement later on and that's not gonna affect your Mii's. By the way, they can also request changes to the island's decor when a yellow bubble pops up as well, but the yellow one I think is for a bunch of items rather than just one. Another icon you might have seen is this one. When you hover over the Mii, you can read about what they're thinking at the bottom of the screen. If you click A, you can now check in on them, and sometimes you get the chance to encourage them to interact with a Mii they might be staring at, or maybe they're feeling curious about. And with this, I also encourage you to sometimes just zoom in on the Mii and watch them. When you leave the camera on a Mii, more cutscenes will open up like this one. And sometimes there are also other types of icons popping up on top of your Mii's heads. You can actually click on your Mii, press the bubble with the 3 dots, and they're gonna tell you what's up. For instance, blue lines mean that they're sad because something went wrong, so when you click on the bubbles with the 3 dots, they're gonna let you know who upset them. And this is also reflected in their relationship tab, which keeps track of their progress level with others. The arrows will constantly be going up and down depending on how their interactions are going. If a Mii is sad and they're hungry, I usually give them food that they like and they always seem to bounce back and they tell me that they feel much better. And again, this is a great way to turn a frown upside down. Who am I? She's rhyming today. And you're gonna get yourself some fuzzies and happiness boost for your Mii. Now your Mii's will get hungry, but you can change how big or small their appetite is. This is unlocked through leveling up your fountain and unlocking this specific set that is for appetite quirks. When a Mii levels up, you can give them an appetite quirk to expand or decrease how easy it is for them to get full. Giving them the big appetite set is a good option if you want to, kind of cheat the system and expand how many food items they can eat before they are full. And this is once again a good way to maximize how many fuzzies and money you're making in a day. Now, you've probably noticed that your Mii's have this happiness bar, and when you fill it up, they level up. One thing I do to keep the ball rolling is when I start the day, after doing all of my shopping check-ins, which I'm gonna talk about in a bit, I'll start to check all of the bubbles and icons. After I'm done, I will make sure to just feed my Mii's. This is a great way to get fuzzies to level up my fountain. It's also good to boost their happiness, but also it's an easy way for me to just keep track of, okay, today I've fed everyone and and we're good to go. While talking about leveling up your Miis, let's talk about their personality. So they can have one of 16 personality types. I'm gonna link this amazing sheet that I found a Reddit user has created. You can find it right below the like button. If you didn't know, personality types correspond to different colors, which in turn are going to determine the color of your Mii's starter outfit and starter house. While these personalities shape many of your Mii's behaviors and reactions, the quirks are what adds the extra oomph to them. By choosing different ways they walk, they greet others, they stand, they eat, you slowly see your Mii develop and change as you play. So how do we level them up? This is by interacting with the icons that we've talked about, and experimenting is your best way to figure out what your Miis enjoy. You see, Miis can love, dislike, like, and loathe different things. When you experiment with your gifts, you're gonna see their reactions. In particular, when it comes to food, you're gonna see this menu here that shows you which their favorites and least favorites are. Note that if you give them something that they hate, their happiness level will drop. To further shape your Mii's personalities, you can also assign them different hobbies. These are all unlocked at the water fountain. And by the way, you don't have to use all of the wishes every time you level up. You can keep collecting fuzzies in the bottle even if it's full, and then you can redeem all of the wishes at once when you're up to it. And one thing I noticed is that the more Mii's I have, the easier it is for me to level up the fountain. When I had 8 Mii's, things were moving a lot slower for me than how they are now when I have 18 of them, and I'm constantly fulfilling requests and gaining fuzzies, happiness levels, money, and more. And here's something that I'm constantly doing. I'm always looking around my island, and I'm trying to see what everybody is doing. If a Mii seems to be wandering around, if they look like they're bored, or maybe they're just chilling by themselves, I'll pick them up and I'll hover them above different Mii's. My goal here is to make sure that everyone has met everyone for the first time, because this is the fastest way for them to form relationships. And that means I get fuzzies and happiness level boosts every time they meet and their interactions go well. Once your Mii's are best friends, they can request to move in together. You're gonna be prompted to choose which topic they might both enjoy. Then the game is gonna start a cutscene where hopefully both Mii's will say they like the same thing. If it happens that they like different things, their relationship will take a hit and they won't move in together. And this is how you get these bigger houses. They can have up to 8 rooms, and you have the bottom floor that acts as a common room. While we're on the topic of rooms, you can buy different interiors from TNC Renovation, and you have new specials coming in every Monday. You can also unlock more from the fountain, and this is how you can get whatever you unlock as a free gift. However, if an item or room has a selection of colors, the game will pick the default color to give you as a gift. So this is a great way to share some rooms with your Mii's so that they have a little bit of decoration. And I don't know if you know this, but your rooms cannot be changed in terms of decor, but they are still customizable when it comes to the flooring and the walls. While we're chatting about customization, let's talk about clothing. Remember that what you give to a Mii is going to remain in their own personal wardrobe. So you can't use a specific clothing piece that you've gifted one Mii on someone else. You're gonna have to buy a new one. So let me show you this in-depth menu for your Mii's. Press Y and you're gonna open up this menu. You can see clothing, lingo, little quirks, relationships, belongings, and you can also edit your Mii here. So you can check in on their pronouns as well as the expressions that you've given them so far. Every Mii can have up to 12 expressions whenever you level them up, and you can also edit the nicknames that they share with other Mii's. If you want more insight about their relationships, you can also see all of them here. This is a great way to keep track of the Mii's that they haven't met yet, so you can give them a little nudge to introduce themselves, and then you're gonna get some fuzzies and a happiness boost while they're at it. When you start having more and more Mii's, I would assume it's becoming cluttered for you to keep up with everyone. So, do you see this icon here with a yellow number on top? This shows you how many Mii's require your attention. By pressing Y, you'll access this menu here, and by pressing Y again, you're gonna see all of them, and you can switch between the pages using ZR and ZL on your Joy-Con. Then you can quickly warp to the Mii in need and help them out. I also want to show you one more icon that can pop up on top of their head, which is this one. This is triggered when your Mii's are napping during the day or they're sleeping at night. You can click on it to see a cutscene, some of which are interactive, and you're gonna get a reward out of it. Some are gonna be worth it, some not really. And even if a me is sleeping, you can still drag them outside and have them interact with others. Now, with the bubbles and the requests out of the way, let's talk about a few dailies. Of course, you already know by now you can check the fountain every day to get some money. You can also check for new food and clothing items, and the marketplace will open up 3 times a day. Don't forget to check every Monday for new specialties at TNC, and check the fountain for new seasonal objects. I recommend buying a variety of food because your Miis are not gonna like eating the same thing in a row even if they like that specific food item. Now, I mentioned the marketplace and you probably know that it has 3 shifts, but the game doesn't tell you that the morning shift is gonna give you food, the afternoon shift is gonna give you an outfit, and the night shift is where you get this mystery box for $50, and it's gonna give you 3 gacha items, some of which are really good treasures. And while we're talking about daily check-ins, it's best to simply not travel in this game. Changing your system's clock by even a few minutes can lock you out for 24 hours where your shops are not gonna spawn new items. If you usually play at a certain time of day and you want to sync the game to another time, for example, you always have night shifts so you can only play during the day, but you prefer your game to be set at night, change the time once so you deal with the penalty once and then you just don't have to worry about it again. This is a great time to start talking about money-making tips, which I know you're excited for. Apart from the daily fountain check, which, am I the only one who misses seeing their Miis line up to give you money like they did in the 3DS version? Anyway, you can get money by giving your Miis food and gifts that they like, which you probably figured out by now. You can also sell items at the right price shop. You see, there's different ways that you can get treasures, be it while your Miis are sleeping or napping, when you win a minigame, when you send your Miis on a trip. All of these can either be gifted to your Miis, which a lot of you probably don't know, or you can sell them at the pawn shop. So when you're picking a box from the minigames to win, the medium and the large one seem to be the best bet, even though they can also sometimes give you some crappy items. However, the small box can also sometimes carry valuable items, so don't exclude it completely. And remember, some of the stuff that you win with the mystery box from the marketplace can also give you some pretty good treasure that you can sell and make a lot of money from. Another way to get some more money and fuzzies is to rub your Mii's head. That sounded a lot worse out loud, but yeah. Mine seemed to like it and they gave me money for it. Again, this whole sentence came off wrong, so moving on. Let's do some quick miscellaneous tips. Did you know that your Mii's accent depends on the region of your Switch user? For example, if your Switch user profile is set to the UK region, your Mii's are gonna sound British as opposed to sounding American if your profile region is set to the US. This also changes some of the lingo in the game. Speaking of lingo, you'll eventually have an entire dictionary in the game where your Mii's are going to randomly use the words that you've added. As of this recording, you can check them by pressing X to access this menu. Then you can click on the island info, island lingo, and here you can change the pronunciation and delete some lingo. Sadly, you cannot edit them apart from changing the articles, which is the A or the and. So if you made a typo, you're either gonna have to see it annoy you every time your Mii's use it, or you're gonna have to delete it. With Mii Creation, you can use a stylus. I found this one on Amazon UK and it works well. I actually got 2 of them for less than £5 rather than buying one Nintendo stylus, which is over £20. Also, someone commented on my before you buy and they said to use screen protection before using a stylus so you don't scratch your screen. Now, I don't know about you, but we always use protection in this house, so I kind of assumed everybody else did as well. Also, some of you said that you just hate how Mii's sound, which to me, it kind of goes against the charm of this game, but if you want to completely mute them, you can. You can do so by going to the game setting and turning the voices down. This is also where you can turn the baby settings on or off. In the settings, you can also change your creator settings, meaning you can change what you want your Mii's to call you, your birthday, and your hand skin tone. Now, when you pick up a Mii, you don't have to keep holding down the A button. You just pick them up and leave the A button alone and give your thumb a break. If you want to take some fun photos outside of Phototomo, you can press ZR on your controller to hide the UI and take pictures of some of the shenanigans. Speaking of Phototomo, You start with a selection of picture sets, and you can change the positioning of your Miis, their outfits, as well as their individual facial expressions in the photo sets of 2 and 8. In the Everyone sets, you can change the expressions of everyone altogether, so they're always gonna have matching expressions. And I also noticed that most of the new hobbies that I'm unlocking at the fountain, they're always granting me new photo sets, at least for the group of 2 and group of 8 photos. I also want to show you this shortcut when you're gifting your Miis. If you want to have a quick food shop or clothing or room shopping, you can do that while being in the Mi menu. When you're gifting, you can always click X to quickly warp to the shop. You can grab what you need and come back. You can also quickly jump to the palette house to create an item and come back as well. Also, when you're creating your Miis, you can set the default skin tone by pressing X while you're in the gender selection page. And while we're chatting about the Mi creation, if for whatever reason you didn't hear about this, you can use the Tomodachi Share website to get some Mi inspo. This is actually where I got inspired for almost all of my Miis, so a shout out to everyone who's so creative and they're happily posting their Miis online to help us out. I'm also aware of the Mi sharing feature using the Metopia demo, but most of the Miis that I'm finding, they just have a crap ton of face paint, so anytime I import them to Tomodachi Life, it's just not working. The only Miis that seem to work for me are the very basic ones. So I just found I'm better off using the Tomodachi Share website and just replicating the Miis by following the instructions manually. And before I forget, one of the biggest tips I'll give you is just have fun. I always like to say that in my tips and tricks videos, gaming is our escape. So as fun as it is to learn how to maximize profit and make lots of money, don't rush the game, enjoy it, and simply have fun. Hello, you gorgeous human being, it's Miss Bubbles. If you're enjoying Tomodachi Life, living the dream so far, squish the like button so we can kick the algorithm right in the face, and make sure to let us know any tips that you found out that maybe I just don't even know about. I would love to hear from you. Thank you to our Patreon and YouTube channel members who make videos like this possible, and shout out goes to The Game Dimension, Jake Logan, Stella, Grey Wolf, Faye, Fufei, Andrew, Emmy, Cookie, Blessing, and Charming Kara for going the extra mile. Until next time, stay bubbly.